Let's see, mute all. Sorry, gang, I'm gonna mute you, and then you got the chat. If you're like, "Hey, shut up, I got a question," so just go in the chat. So, how I master my practice: work on your practice, not in your practice. Now, why did I do this? Well, after coaching a bunch of people, I'm going to tell my own backstory. So after 11 years in 4 coaching groups, I definitely developed a personality practice. Why? Because I was using patient education. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. I did what everybody told me, and I had principle and purpose, and I never saw us building a business. Like I look at people and they get in chiropractic and they want to build a business, and I think that's awesome. I was always a purpose guy, and the purpose built the business, but I couldn't find the right model. And now I look back at the coaches I have, and I look back at what's going on today in the profession. They have this, get out of your practice, how to exit your practice. And I know what these people teach, and they're using a patient education model. And, it's great business systems. But the reality is, what's your PVA? You can have great business systems. This is what I ran into. I had a personality driven practice because I had a higher volume practice. My associate couldn't build it to the level that I could, which means at a 40 PVA, and that was 500 a week, then I was there for 11 years. Then I had to rebuild it every 3 months because that was corrective care. So that means I couldn't leave for a month. There's no way. It wasn't worth it. So I didn't take more than a week vacation. I don't even think I took a week vacation for 11 years. Took tons of 4 days. So I became a prisoner of my practice. And I remember saying that. Why? Because it was personality driven, because I was so convicted to the principle. But the systems I learned from the management group, could they get me paid? Absolutely. Did I have a nice bank account? Absolutely. But what did I have to do because of my PVA? Market, 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 market. And that's what I see with people that are out there. They may have freedom from their practice, they have associates, but their associates can't do what they can do. And they continually have to market and market and market to get new patients because there's a PVA problem. And so what I found out was after 11 years, and you guys probably heard this story, is Wednesday afternoon at 5:30. I'm looking around at my clinic. There's probably 25 people there. And I said, how many of these people were with me 6 months ago? And I looked around and it was 70% were within 6 months. And I literally did this. I literally hung my head down right in the middle of the adjusting tables. And then I asked myself powerful question. How do I get people to look at chiropractic like I do? And how do people make life-changing decisions? And then I started studying human behavior. And here's what I learned. What I'm going to go through is what's the truth about patient education versus, there we go, right there, versus changing beliefs. And when I learned to change beliefs, then everything became easy. I stopped working, I stopped marketing, we doubled our PVA. And so back then, I wasn't as good as I am now. Now it's been 26 years. So back then, I would accept 7 patients out of 10. So I didn't want more than 10 new patients a week. I didn't want a 20 new patient week. I had buddies that were seeing, 1,200 a week, 150 new patient. I didn't want that. I wanted 1 new patient per shift, 1 report of findings per shift. And if we averaged 10 new patients and I could get a bunch of them to stay, so I would turn away 3, but the 7 that committed would stay for an average of 100 visits. So we saw 700 a week on 10 new patients a week, but I was turning away 3. So that means 3 of the 7 were actually staying for 140 visits. And the other 4 were about 70, anywhere in the 70 to 100 range. And that was only after a year and a half. Once I started studying human behavior, in 90 days, we added 70 people a day, not a week. We added 70 people a day. Now, some people are like, I just want to reach 70 people a day. Other people like, why would I want to see 70 more people a day? Well, I my ADD wanted me to see volume. It was principle. I wanted to make an impact. However, the bottom line is I didn't spend 1 second, not even a nanosecond of extra time marketing, going to screenings, giving talks. I didn't spend one penny on ads, on doing anything, on any marketing. We did all that for what I'm going to show you, some of the systems I'm going to show you in this 5-day challenge. And if you just do what we show you this week, and you're going to get the recordings, I guarantee you'll probably add 20 visits to your PVA. You got a whole new practice. And so, what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is let's learn the truth about patient education versus changing beliefs. So, let me go down here. There's 3 powerful questions we have to ask ourselves. Sorry about that, gang. I'm moving everybody around. 3 powerful questions we ask ourselves. So, what are those? Well, what's our purpose of being a chiropractor in chiropractic? Because, there's people, the biggest enemy of purpose is success. Now, how do I know? Because I meet people that make over $1 million a year. And like they got a great bank account and they got a 40 or 50 PVA, some a 30 PVA. They're marketing like crazy, but they have a great life for their family. And thank God, take care of your family first. But then I look at, well, you have a great life, but what's the life of the people with your 40 PVA? What's their life like? Because they're not getting 100% corrected. They're not living the lifestyle. Some may be bringing their family. What's that like? And that's what bothered me. So, what's our purpose being a chiropractor? Secondly, what type of patient do you want to create? Thirdly, what impact do you want to have not only on your patient's life, but on all of healthcare? And we're in a perfect time to impact healthcare. So, let's take these one at a time. Now, why am I starting with this? Because when you look at the answers, your answers to these questions, it is going to take a laser sharp system to be able to do what you want. And the reality is, if patient education was the strategy, we would already dominate healthcare. And obviously, we don't. And people still think it's about back pain. Yet, we keep teaching the same thing over and over and over. So let's look at this. So, what's your purpose? Do you want your patients to live chiropractic as their primary health care? Would that be a good idea? Do you want your patients to bring in their family? What if they asked you to bring in their family? Hey, Miguel, do you want chiropractic to be their primary health care for the rest of their life? What would that be like? Is that the type of patient you want to create? Is that your purpose? Do you want chiropractic healthcare lifestyle to affect generations? How do you get this to move across the top? Let's see, across top, across, there we go. Now let's move it up top. There we go. So do you want to affect generations? Come, do you want to create a chiropractic healthcare legacy, not just a practice? What's that mean? The chiropractic healthcare affects generations beyond your life, beyond your practice, beyond that, beyond when you get such a great culture that you can leave for a month, you can leave for 2 months, you can be home for dinner with your family every night, because I do get it. Your kids are only this age one time. So I get it. Okay. Do you want to change all of healthcare to chiropractic first? Now, if you go, yeah, that would be nice. Well, is it that would be nice, but I keep doing the same thing? Or that's really what I would want. That would fulfill my purpose on the higher level. At the end of my life, I know the world will be different with chiropractic. And do you want, when it comes to your last breath, do you want to know that? Not to mention your family and all the other things, right, that are important. So now, what kind of patient do you want to create? So if that's your purpose, wow, what kind of patient is that? Well, let's look at that. Well, do you want to create a patient that gets it? What's gets it mean? They know chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle right from day one. And I'm going to show you why that's important. So we're going to do that in another session. That's going to be on Wednesday. Would you like a patient to agree on day one? Chiropractic is their new healthcare system, not just gets it. Health is energy. Yes, is healthcare. No, no, no. This is my family's new healthcare system. And if it is, then won't they automatically bring their kids in? I mean, I got tired of begging patients, begging, 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 talk, patient education, education. I can give you 15 logical reasons why it makes sense that you should bring their kid in, and they don't. The ones that get it do, but what about the ones that don't? And those are the people that I'm like, I am done. I am done convincing. And this is another question I asked myself, or statement, was not just how do I again look at it like I do, it's how do I get parents to ask me to bring their kids in? How do I get patients to ask me to be a patient? And then we came up with a patient application system. And so all these questions, trust me, they came out 11 years of pain, man. I mean, I was a wrestler. So if you say, Fred, pick up that boulder and run it up the hill. I would. I go, I can carry that motherfucker. I'm going to run up the hill, and I'm going to even run faster than you can without the boulder. And that's the problem, is when you're willing to work hard. And then I learned spiritually, wow, I can command that boulder and it can roll up the hill by itself, and I can just enjoy the process. And that was a lot easier. And I think that's what happens after you turn 40. It's like you hit 40, it's like, yeah, I've already busted my ass. Okay. I have other priorities now. They want to tell you, what if they want to tell their extended family? And what if they understand that everyone needs chiropractic if they want to live a healthy life? I'm going to go through that. And what if they really understand, hey, life and health is energy? Because if they really get that, and I'm going to go through that on day 3, talk a little bit about that today. If they get that on day one, they would understand it's their healthcare. Spinal cord is a lifeline, carries energy to the body. 2, they would want to tell other people that are suffering on drugs. 3, they would definitely start with their kids, like, oh my God, I need to bring my kids in here. And 4, they'd want to bring in their extended family, because health problems are generational patterns. I'm going to go through all this throughout the week. So what I'm doing is giving you hints of exactly how you create this, like a freaking machine, every time. 9 out of 10 patients. Now, I turned away 3 because, man, that was only after like 6 months, 90 days to 6 months of studying human behavior. Now I've had 26 years. And so I looked at the stats a couple of years ago. Is the average elite client has 86% commitment to full corrective care, 92 to 96 going into lifestyle. I don't know anybody that does that. Why? Because we're not using patient education. Now I'm going to show you what's the difference. Okay, so what impact do you want to have on patients' life and healthcare? Here's the third question. Well, do you want patients to live chiropractic with greater confidence in the strength and health of their bodies for the rest of their life? Now, you guys that are in elite, hey, how many times do you hear me say this? Why do I say that? Because they're not buying health. What they're buying is confidence in their health, greater confidence in the strength and health of their body for how long? The rest of their life. By the way, this is the default of how you reframe pain. Doc, just get rid of my pain. So what you're saying is you want to have confidence in the strength and health of your body for the rest of your life. That is a default reframe. Do you want to teach their kids? So if they bring their kids in, then you want to teach their kids, raise them with chiropractic healthcare lifestyle. Now, what are you going to teach their kids? This is the difference in patient education. Now, Johnny, your spinal cord carries all the energy to your nervous system, and that's going to help you keep you grow up and strong. You can wear your cape like Superman. And here's a balloon because you got adjusted to that. Well, that works for a little while. But then here's how I used to teach them, right? when your parents would say, my mom, money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think I made of money? But why can we repeat all these one-liners from our parents? She's like, Mom, that's so ridiculous. Of course it grows on trees. Money's paper. So what would I teach kids? Okay, little Johnny, tell your mommy we don't ever go to a pediatrician. We always go see Dr. Fred first. Right? So what am I doing? I'm infusing, I'm conditioning. So when I say we teach their kids, we're not teaching them information. We're teaching them that God's got the perfect healthcare system. Your body can heal itself. We don't take drugs because your body can heal itself first. And this is what I used to tell parents at a workshop with kids in the audience. If you give your kids drugs for a health problem, what are you teaching them? That what's inside them isn't good enough and they have to reach outside to put something in them to be whole. Now, what happens when they're teenagers and they're searching for their identity? What drugs are they going to choose now? And parents were just hanging their heads because we condition these kids to know God made you perfect. Your nervous system is far stronger than anything that man can give you. So I'm saying teach their kids. You're not teaching them information, you're teaching them belief systems. Oh, mommy, no needles, mommy. We don't ever get needles. We go to Dr. Fred, right? So their kids, now what if their kids, they raise their kids with chiropractic? Are you teaching to the kids that you take care of now in a way that they're going to teach their kids the same thing? Like, this is a legacy. Now, look at just these principles and questions right here. So let's finish this. Your patients have purpose to change healthcare for themselves and future generations. Now, I was talking to a gentleman today, called me, chatted with him. Um, anyway, he is born again Christian. So what? So let's look at religion. It doesn't matter, Jewish, Christian, whatever. You're going to teach your kids the religion and faith that you want them to follow. And you hope that they teach their kids and their kids and their kids, because that goes through generations. Trust me. I come from an immigrant Italian home. Oh my God, man. Catholicism. My friends would come over on Sunday dinner. I'd be like, just eat. The food will be unbelievable. Don't talk about the Pope in front of my grandmother. So that was it, right? Because it passes through generations. Do you look at chiropractic like that? Are you teaching your patients like that? Do you want to create a legacy that affects generations by creating a movement? Now we're talking about something very different. So let's look at that. So, what is a movement? A movement is a group of organized people that strive toward a common goal relating to human society or social change. Wow, look at that. Do you want to change healthcare? So when I heard the principle, I remember I was sitting at Dynamic Essentials and I remember sitting in that room going, oh my God, this is a message for humanity. Yes, did I need to build a practice? Absolutely. But I thought, yeah, I'm going to build a practice, but I want to bring this message out to the world. From right there, it's like chiropractic needs to dominate around the world. So imagine if your patients had the same purpose that you did. How do you think I eventually added 110 people a day? That took about 5 months, not 3 months. Here on the email says master your practice in 90 days. In another 60 days, so how much is that? In 150 days, we added 110 people a day. But why did we do that? Because they all had a purpose. And we're going to talk about that when it comes to retention. So, what about a movement? Hey, the movement is fueled with purpose. They have conviction. They serve a purpose bigger than themselves. Isn't that you? Now, what I'm here to tell you, how do you gain total autonomy? Well, you can have an associate, you can do a bunch of marketing, you can have a 40 or 50 PVA. But when your patients and your team has a purpose bigger than themselves, they're going to build it for you, whether you're there or not. What we're going to show you are the beginnings of how to build not just a practice, but a chiropractic movement and a legacy that will continue to build with people enrolling into monthly lifetime payments for lifestyle, and you don't have to be there. However, your team's got to be sharp, laser sharp focus. We're going to show you how to do that. Make the world a better place by creating social change. This solves a world problem. Now, I don't think there's a better time in history than what we've been through in the last few years. That people are waking up, man. They're looking at vaccinations now. They don't trust medicine. Nutrition companies, a lot of them are going through the roof. The right ones are, right? People are looking for something different. This is the time. Movements have complete unity. That means people and groups have power. Unity and purpose creates exponential power. You create unity in your team, unity in your practice, unity in your patrons. Movements have momentum and grow on their own. And I was able to create this in 90 days, a practice that built itself, whether I was there or not. So, what's this say? So, why do we do patient education? Let's look at this. Well, it's what we've been taught for decades, man. I had 4 management groups, right? Seems logical. I mean, give them information. Spinal cord, carries energy to the organs. That's the way it works. Thing is, they've never heard of it. And what do? They walk in with their own belief system. Give them a progressive. We believe that if we get progressive and continual information, that they should get it. Well, guess what? I did that. You know what I found out? Some people really don't care. They really don't care about your purpose. I could shout on a megaphone on my orange crate, and they didn't care about that either. So information should make them want to change the way they live. Has anybody experienced that? They should want to teach their kids. They should want their kids to adapt the lifestyle. And their kids should teach kids, and this should affect generations. Well, if it did that, look at your PVA. 40 PVA wasn't doing that. Was it doing it with some? Absolutely. But it was a small percentage. It wasn't 90%. They should want to make this life a purpose, take this message out in the world, impact healthcare because it's a world problem. Shouldn't education do that? Well, look at your PVA. Look at your practice. Do you need to market? Are you getting referrals? And here's the reality. Emotion makes prospects take action. Logic justifies. Now you guys know that, right? People buy with emotion and justify with fact. So how exactly does this work? Well, first of all behavior is belief driven. Now, I use this analogy, which is, hey, when someone finds the Lord, they're born again Christian. They get that label. Do you have to remind them to go to church? Do you have to remind them to carry their Bible around? Do you have to remind them to go to work and get people to the church? You have to remind them that they want to contribute on Sunday and maybe be an usher. Do you have to remind them maybe they want to do a Bible study? They have purpose. They want to create social change. That is a belief system. I'm not judging the belief system. What I'm saying is that is a very strong belief, core value, and purpose. And if they can do that with religion, you can do it with chiropractic. And that's what I did. And I have elite clients that do that. So this is Jim Quick. He charges tens of thousands of dollars to help change behavior and memory and all that stuff. You guys probably know him. So we live what we believe. So here's this. Beliefs originate from perceptions. Would you agree? People can see the same thing, have completely different perceptions. If you're married, you already know that. You don't have to be married to do that. Hey, just by gender alone, we see things differently, right? Look at family members, brother and sisters. How could one be a CEO and the other one be in rehab for addiction? People can share the same experience, have different perceptions, and create very different beliefs. Would you agree to that? Beliefs become hardwired in our brain. They become associated with strong emotions. That's how they become beliefs. They're associated with strong emotions. That's not knowledge. That's a belief system. because we feel them in our body, we believe those beliefs are real. Why? They're based on an experience that left an emotional impression. Now I'm giving you the clue to how we transform patient education into patient experience that changes beliefs. Now, think about this. If you go back, pick a memory when you were 10 years old. Okay, 10 years old, I was in fifth grade. I was living in Pennsylvania. I remember the classroom. I remember the woods that I would drive my mini bike in. I could give you a bunch of, we'd take our mini bikes over jumps, blah, blah, blah. Why can I remember that so clearly? Because it's associated with an emotion. That's how people learn and wires in their subconscious mind. Now, we all know people buy with emotion, justify with fact, but what do most management groups do? Miss Jones, how's your back pain affecting your life? Well, I can't pick up my kids. Great. Now she can pick up her kids. Hey, when the pain is gone, the emotion is gone, the patient is gone. Why? Because here's what I learned from Tony Robbins and Business Mastery, how to create raving fans for life. People don't buy long term what they can do. Now, I learned this hard way when I moved from Newport Beach, moved to North Carolina. Everybody loves golf. So people come in, Doc, my back hurts. I got to play golf this Saturday. It's Tuesday. Dude, I got to win money off my buddies. So I'd be like, man, I would talk to them about their health. They didn't care. What do they care? I want to win money off my buddies on Saturday. I'd get them better. They'd win money. I didn't see them on Monday. Oh, I got a phone call that they won money. Thank you so much. You're the greatest. Why? Because I could show them how to do it. That's the problem with that system. It's basic sales, like about as fundamental as you can get. You believe you got where your beliefs have gotten you to where you are today. So if you're on this, I'm assuming you want to build a practice. And if you look at those questions, that affects generations that live a chiropractic lifestyle. And if we can actually give them, understand their values, give them purpose, man, not only affect generations, but maybe we can actually shift the healthcare system in our lifetime. Wouldn't that be fascinating? So, hey, God brought us here, Many things you have believed up to this point aren't real. What if that's possible? What if we look at our belief systems and what we believe really don't exist? Because not everybody shares our belief systems, nor did everybody have our experiences. So here's this. One of the strongest needs of humans is to remain consistent with who they believe they are. Now, guess what? This is you. Who you believe you are can be what you've achieved so far, although you have a vision that's greater. But these are your patients. Chiropractic is about back pain. We're going to go through belief systems. Okay, so just know they have a certain belief about who they are, and you're wanting to change who they believe they are, which is their identity. People will cling to their identity because they want certainty. Oh my God, if I change my beliefs, who am I going to be? Right? But yet you want them to live a different lifestyle. You might want to move past patient education just a little bit. So I'm going to show you in these 5-day challenge, because here's a patient. Let's say you're number 9. Now, you guys in Elite, you've seen this in the boot camps. By the way, I take this from the day 1, day 2 boot camp and the retention boot camp. You're number 9. Chiropractic. Here's spine and nervous system. Spine and nervous system, foundation, health, life of the body. Here it is, patient education. It's not about back pain. We're going to ask you about organs. They're like, look, dude, I've been to 8 chiropractors, man. Yeah. Just cracked my back. My wife couldn't get it this time. And you're like, look, you don't understand. This is not. And they're like, dude, I don't know which dyslexia you are. This is a freaking 6. I know I'm staring at a 6. No. This is a 9. So what's patient education do? It's telling people the information of why you think this is a 9. But what are you telling them? You're telling them what you want them to learn. They don't care. They're staring at a 6. So what does changing beliefs do? It walks around and go, yep, I get it, man. You've been a chiropractor, they've been in pain, just curious. You're still having the same problem. Just curious, did the other chiropractor take x-rays? Well, then how do you know what he was doing? Will they adjust you? Well, it took my pain away. Well, if you have an injury, if it was healed, and I assume you want a stronger, greater confidence in the strength and health of your body for the rest of your life, right? Right. Well, just crack my back. Well, what if somebody missed something? And this is in the pre-consultation. When one area shifts, it weakens the rest structure of the spine. Did you know that? And we go through that in the pre-consult. And after that, I would say, did you know most back problems don't even start in the low back? Did your other chiropractor tell you that? Most of them are thoracic shifts and neck problems. Do they tell you that? No. What if you have a problem in the other area of your spine that they didn't look at? Maybe that's why it keeps coming back. If there is, and you could have a stronger, healthy body the rest of your life, would you want to look at it? Right? What am I doing? Getting small agreements. So here's you walk around and go, well, I could see why this is 6. But there's another side there. Would you really like to have a strong health, greater confidence in the strength and health of your body so you don't ever have to deal with this again? Yeah, well, would you like to take a walk with me around this other side? Sure. That's pre-consult, consult, exam, la, 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 but none of it's patient education. Oh, that is a 9. Oh my God, I can see why chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle. This is what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. How to go through day 1 and have them go from a 6 to a 9 where they actually agree. Look at this. This is my new healthcare system. There is a way to do it, but it's not through information. You're a unique individual. If you want your life to look like you want, what's that? Having a practice that works automatically and at any level you want without you being there. Then you have to start living according to a system that works for you, namely your own belief system. So is your current belief system getting you where you want to be, your ultimate vision right now? If it is, all the power to you. You're getting some great information here. If you take this, you'll take your practice to another level. Or you can also learn how to develop massive skill and have all of this be automatic. We're never more than one belief away from our greatest love, deepest healing, and most profound miracles. This is Greg Braden. You're one belief away. And what's that? The changing beliefs is going to be more effective at creating lifelong patience than patient education. Now, you may not believe that right now, but I would definitely know by the end of this week, you will definitely go, you'll have many holy shit moments, including ones that are coming up tonight. So check this. Let's look at people that are multi-billionaires. What do they say? Elon Musk. People don't buy gadgets, they buy beliefs. What are gadgets? Chiropractic corrective care. What are gadgets? An adjustment. What are gadgets? Well, I took x-rays. What are beliefs? This is my healthcare lifestyle. That life is energy. Health is energy. That my spinal cord is my lifeline. I need a healthy spinal structure or my health's going to deplete and I'm going to get sick. And I want my kids and my family to be healthy for every generation to come. So this is our new healthcare lifestyle. How about that? Tony C, CEO, took over Zappos, man, went through the roof. We don't just sell shoes, but you were passionate about customer service. So check this out. You don't want to sell shoes. What's that? An adjustment, a consultation, set of x-rays, a corrective program. That's selling shoes. You're selling a Dental, this cool pillow, this back brace. That's selling shoes. Now, if you want to empower people to live a better life, you're not also in the customer service business. You're not there to make them happy. You're there to empower them so they don't go back to medical doctors unless it's trauma. Because if they live a chiropractic lifestyle, they're probably not going to get sick, right? If they have good structure and good curves. We sell happiness. Look at that. That's what this guy sells, right? Turn it into a multi-million-dollar company. What do you sell? Lifelong health. You sell a belief system. You sell a new healthcare system for a new world. So here's Ralph Lauren. We don't sell clothes. Look at this guy. You sell a dream and a vision. And so here's what I always say. A person with their health has 1,000 dreams. A person without it has one. You're in the 1,000 dream business. That's what you're selling. You're selling 1,000 dreams. You're selling confidence in the strength and health of your body. That's what you're selling. You know, a few years ago, I don't know what happened, tweaked my back. Anyway, I was going to the gym. Boom. All of a sudden, I got this sword in my back. I was face down in my closet and I couldn't get up. And I was sitting there. I couldn't even get on my knees, hands and knees. And I was sitting there thinking, wow, if I didn't know what I know, I'd call 911. I'd be going to the hospital right now. So what did I do? I army crawled to the back bedroom. I got my arthritis stim, adjusted myself so I could stand up, and then I went to the chiropractor and got adjusted. Right? We have a gift, but we're not selling clothes. We're not selling adjustments. We're not selling a program. That's the health recovery phase. We're selling the optimal life plan. We're selling a healthcare system for generations so you don't ever have to succumb to the government. You don't ever have to succumb to a business that tells you you have to get a vaccination. You don't ever have to succumb to anything because you know better. And now with I live in California, mandatory vaccination in public schools, you know, I mean, you got to create warriors, man. You got to create wolves because the sheep will get eaten when all their friends dog on them about not vaccinating their kids. So let's look at logic versus psychology. You guys with me? Harvard Business School. 95% of our purchase decisions are based subconsciously. What's that mean? They're based on belief systems that you don't think about. So if you're giving them information that they didn't know about, is that in their subconscious mind or is that in their conscious mind? But their decision is subconscious. Do you ever notice information? Well, I think I'm going to go back to my physical therapist. Well, I think I'm going to go to the gym. Well, look at those x-rays, doc. I don't think I was standing up straight. Like all these ridiculous statements. Why? Because this is truth. So the question is, how do you wire a chiropractic lifestyle into their subconscious mind right from day one? Well, you're going to learn that later in the week. Neuroscience confirms we buy with emotion, justify with logic, yet we sell to Mr. Rational, patient education, and we ignore Mr. Intuitive, patient experience. Look at this, man. This is right out of Harvard Business School. You can be right or you can be rich. That's Alex. I love that. Alex Hormozy, because he wrote a book, $100 million offers, $100 million leads. And he helps businesses break $100 million. And he talks about human behavior. He's like, look, you can describe your product all day long. You can be right or you can be rich. And he teaches human behavior in how to make great offers and how to expand your business, on how to get people to stay with you for life. This is what the leaders in the entrepreneurial world are doing. Yet chiropractic, we're still stuck on the same freaking thing. And this is what I figured out 26 years ago. Look, hey, I'm not that smart, but I'm smart enough to pay attention. And maybe that's brilliance. Maybe my purpose was big enough to where I'm like, why don't I just I put out a video the other day. I said, what if Tony Robbins was a chiropractor? Every time I ask that to an audience, would chiropractic be different? Everybody says yes. Well, that's what I said 26 years ago. Well, why don't I find out what he's doing? You can get 10,000 people to walk across 2,000 degree coals and only 0.5% just get blisters. I walked across those red hot coals and it felt like walking across your front lawn on a spring dewy morning. Man, the power of your mind. How do they tap into that? That's our day one, day two. Research shows that within 1 hour, here's how effective patient education is. Most learners forget 50% of the information within 1 hour. By the time they're gone, they forgot half of what you told them. After 24 hours, they forgot 70%. Before they're coming back the next day for the report of findings, you better have that report of findings within 1 hour, because they don't remember shit of what you said yesterday. Unless you gave them an experience they can't forget. And within a week, it goes up to 90%. How do you know? That's why you got to keep telling the same people the same things over and over and over. Now, when I learned about how to change beliefs, my mantra was I tell them once and then I ask them a question. So the mantra was I don't teach them what to think. Patient education teaches them what to think. My mantra was I teach them how to think. Why? Because they got to go out in the world and stand up for chiropractic and have purpose. They got to go up and say, we don't vaccinate our kids. And if you're smart, you wouldn't do that with yours either. So there's the effectiveness of your patient education. So let's look at this. This is a Journal of Royal Society of Medicine. What year? 2003. Well, it's 11 years old. Sorry. Patient's memory from medical information. Check this out. When important decisions are made, the patient must receive detailed information on illness, treatment, and options. Sound like patient education? Pre-consult, day 2 report of findings. The amount of information correctly recalled is strikingly small, right? 40 to 80% of what you tell your patients is forgotten immediately. There's the effectiveness of your patient education. I remember I was given a report of findings. This was my first couple of years of practice. And I was going off, man. I was learning spinal correction. This. I was actually looking at the x-ray. I wasn't even smart enough to look at the patient. And I did all this information and I looked at him and I go, well, what are your thoughts? And he said, I have no idea what you said, but if you can give me that energy, then I'm in. So I was fired up enough to get his credit card, but at that time I had a 19 PVA. Okay, so get this. They don't remember anything you're saying. Almost half of the information that is remembered is incorrect. Here's patient education, and I'm going to show you why this is true. So there's 3 reasons. One, you're using terms that they're not familiar with. Hey, 2 people can be speaking English, but you're not speaking the same language. Now, I learned this when I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and they spoke a very different language. Well, I reckon Dr. Fred, I didn't know Fred had 2 syllables. Dr. Fred was my name in Wilmington, North Carolina. Love that place. But I had to change my language or they had no idea. I'd use their vocabulary. So it's not that you're using medical terminology. You could say, well, I don't do that. But are you repeating their vocabulary? Also, you're speaking to them. Most people are not auditory. I'm going to go through that. And then the patient's education level. It's not whether or not they have a graduate degree. It's what's their specialty. You know, I know everything about chiropractic and I had to jump my wife's car, but I don't want to change my oil. I don't know how to work the computer chips in my car, right? I don't know how to do any of that, but I know chiropractic on a world-class level. So it's not their education and their degree. It's you're speaking something that's completely foreign to them. Okay, so what's this? Hey, there's an easy way or a hard way, so I'm going to give you a new opportunity. What's that? Well, here's patient education. You can continue to climb the mountain. I climbed that mountain for 11 years. Or you could just go, wow, man, why don't I just get a ticket on the gondola? And I can have a great time, you know, eat my Cliff Bar, drink some water, have some coffee, chat with my neighbors, hang out with my friends, take some pictures of the scenery. And then I can bomb down the mountain 22 times rather than carry my skis up, hike up, ski down, hike up, ski down 3 times, man, I'm out. And this is the difference between patient education and changing beliefs. So how do people learn new concepts? I'm going to show you why patient education is a problem. Because people learn new things in their right brain, right? Why? Because if they're learning something new, it's maybe abstract. And that's what your right brain is bending and twisting, trying to understand something like it's a Rubik's Cube, you know? And so if you're giving information, you're speaking to their left brain, but they're learning with their right brain. That's why they don't remember, right? Left brain stores knowledge after after it's understood and accepted as truth. Then hopefully you got a big fat corpus callosum. Then it goes over into the left brain as knowledge. Now, once it's left brain, they're very certain. That's why they buy with emotion. They're learning and then they justify with fact. They don't justify and get it as fact until they understand it. Telling someone, well, your spinal cord carries energy to all the organs. So, you need to take care of your spine your whole life. Well, my MD didn't tell me that. I mean, you guys get it, right? So when it's known, it becomes fact and certain. And then when it's associated with emotion, goes into your subconscious mind. Now it can wire in your subconscious mind. So when knowledge becomes associated with an emotion, from the experience. Now, the experience isn't what you say, it's what you do. Now, I'm going to go through things like, well, I say that. Well, I say that. It's not about what you say, it's about what you're doing when you say it. Then it becomes subconscious. So let's look at this. How do people learn the fastest so it changes beliefs? I know that's the question you had. How do we accelerate the learning process? Well, first of all, left brain speaks in facts. So 7% of influence, the decision they make to get your care is because of what you say. 7%. Do you ever feel like you're talking to someone and it feels like 93% is failing? Because they're not listening to your words. You're talking to the left brain. 38% is the tone. It's the tone you use, voice inflection, your emotion that you're expressing. And that's why Tony Robbins, the person with the highest influence, is the one with the most conviction. They got to feel that certainty in your tone. 55% of influence is your body language. So guess what? So look at this. If I say, I'm having a great day, are you going to believe me? Well, listen to my words. I said I'm having a great day. What's the problem? Aren't you having a great day? I'm having a freaking fantastic day. You're operating like this and you don't know it. 55% of people learn visually. So guess what they're doing? Look at those two 55%. 30% learn through auditory. So 70% of the people you're giving information to, one, you're talking to the wrong side of the brain. Two, they don't understand what the hell you're saying. They're not auditory learners. It's like, oh my God, man. Is this getting a little discouraging? This is patient education. 5% learn kinesthetically. Hey, they're watching how you move. They're not listening to what you say. So when you get the day one, day two videos, what do? Tony Robbins says this is an NLP. Demonstration is the most powerful learning tool. Hey, it's like a subluxation. It's shifted like this. It's twisted like that. We're sweeping the chart. We're moving our body. We're teaching with how we move. So it's not the words you say, because if you read our pre-consult, you would say, well, I say all of that. But did you get 14 agreements? Did you move your body and demonstrate everything you say? Most people don't realize it, but you're saying one thing and the way you're moving is negating, and you're talking people out of care with your body because you have no idea that you're moving, negating what you're saying, and you have no idea. And then you wonder why they don't commit, because they're not listening to what you say. Right brain versus left brain learning. Hey, if they're learning in the right brain, maybe we should speak to their right brain. What do you think? So how does the right brain learn? Well, they learn in analogies. That's why throughout the scripts, Hey, subluxation is like a dimmer switch. Energy moving down the spine is like a waterfall. It's like a fire hose. Subluxation, dam in the river. Now, why do we do that? They learn in metaphors. When something is represented, it's kind of like an analogy, only a metaphor can be a mini story. They learn in stories. This is why people remember 22 times more information from a story than facts. Why? Because right brain learns and speaks in stories. Stories are associated with emotions. Stories is how you handle objections, metaphors and analogies. And they learn in images. It creates a picture. When I say your spine is like a waterfall, what do? I picture a waterfall. Now that a waterfall is already in a subconscious mind, and because the right brain is in images, I associate the two. Oops, here's my right brain. Those two come together, and then what? I understand it. It goes into my left brain and into my subconscious mind. And now they go, oh, okay, I get it. I understand. And that's how you accelerate learning. This is it. So it's what you do, not what you say. So elite scripts are full of analogies, metaphors, stories. So what are some of the elite strategies to change beliefs? I think you're seeing why this can set up an automatic system, but patient education isn't going to do it. Well, our scripts have analogies and we get multiple agreements. So if someone that, you have 15 health problems, pre-consultation has 14 agreements. They're going to learn health is energy right there. They have 15 health problems. We have a 4-step consult. You're going to go through 15 health problems twice. 15 plus 15 plus 14, 44. In the exam, we go through the symptoms, the health conditions twice. That's another 30. That's 74. And then we're going to get a bunch of other agreements before they leave on day one. So there's 80 agreements in 30 minutes. That means about every 40 seconds or so, you got another agreement. Yes, yes. They are different people on day one. It's called the law of commitment and consistency. When people agree, then they feel responsible to follow it. So you can be giving all information and get no agreements. What are you doing? Lecturing. So what I show you, remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do. We also teach you how to become a good storyteller. Now, it just so happens the consultation is their subluxation story. It's the story of their timeline that brought them up to this moment because they only had one problem. They never took care of their spine and nervous system. So when you look at a day 2 ROF, what did all the coach say? When doctor's day 2, well, doc, how did I get this way? Well, you're a rugby player, and then you got in the car accident, and then you fell on your head, and then you got kicked in the face by a horse, and then you played hockey, and you got all your front teeth knocked out. It's like, that's a traumatic life. No, it wasn't any of that. I fell on my head a number of times. I got hit by a car on motorcycles twice, thank God. Multiple car accidents, rolled my truck, adrenaline junkie, Oh, but why do I have a healthy spine and full disc height? Because I was under chiropractic care. Because I fixed my spine. The only problem is they didn't take care of their spine and nervous system. That's their subluxation story. We're going to go into that later in the week. Then what do? 20 to 30-year health and life goals. So then it's the story of their purpose. If people don't have a vision, they perish. So if we want to come for life, then why don't we how do you want to live the next 30 years? I think 30 years could cover a couple generations. And then the question is, if you look at your patients today, would someone born in their family 30 years from today not get vaccinated and be under chiropractic care from birth? They are your responsibility. Is that a holy shit moment? When you take responsibility for that, then you're going to learn how to create a legacy. Otherwise, what did you do? What's the practice when you create a patient? And then you try and talk them into bringing their kids. And then you try and talk them into referring and all that stuff, right? You handle objections with stories, and you're going to get so much of this through the next 5 days. So day 1 and day 2 are about discovering their beliefs. So what are the belief systems? There's 7 possible belief systems that you can change. 1, chiropractic is about pain. That's obvious. Well, just crack my back, doc. Chiropractic is for the spine, but medicine is for health problems. Those are people that come in, they get their back fixed, but they take their kid to a pediatrician. Chiropractic is for healthcare. That's like, hey man, got it. I'm getting adjusted. You can help with my asthma. What's healthcare? Healthcare is you have a problem, you go to a chiropractor, they solve the problem, and then they leave. That's still a 40 or 50 PVA. My asthma's gone, doc. It's great. You're the best. I'll come back whenever, and they may refer in another asthma patient that'll get off their inhaler and quit. Chiropractic is healthcare lifestyle. That's very different. Chiropractic healthcare creates a patient. Chiropractic lifestyle creates a legacy, creates automation. You don't have to be there, and your practice will grow every year. Chiropractic corrects the spine and cures my health problems. Okay, if you're in a spinal correction, great. You just bought a product or service. My spine's fixed. I'm done. I run into this with a lot of CBP people. Yep, doc, we fixed them. See you later. They got in a car accident 2 years later, and they came back to fix their spine again. I hear this at CBP seminars. Well, that's great. And my question is, well, where were they for those 2 years? It's like, what happened, man? Did that person bring their kids in? Because a person can come in, fix their spine, but my 5-year-old doesn't have back pain. No, this is for me. No, I'm the one with the subluxated spine. My kids, no, they're fine. They don't have any health problems, right? That's still a product or service. Chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle for myself. How many patients have been coming to you for years and they don't bring their kids? Right? They may even know it keeps them healthier, but why aren't they bringing their kids? Well, I have a health problem and my asthma went away. My immune system is stronger, but no, my kids are fine. No, I'm going to come because I had a health problem. But they don't have health problems. It's the same thing. And they'll even stay for years for that reason. Chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle for my family. Oh, now we're getting into good ones. Chiropractic is a healthcare lifestyle for my family tree. That means everybody in my family, generations to come, and everybody I know, because it's part of your life purpose. So, how would you like them to have the last 2 belief systems as opposed to the first 5? What do you think? We can show you how to shatter those first 5 like that right on day 1. Now, your responsibility is to identify and change the belief system. It's not to solve their pain. It's not to solve their health because that's healthcare. You solve their health, you're giving a reason to quit. All you're doing is repairing the damage. Everyone must know chiropractic healthcare lifestyle on day 1. Why? Because they're coming in under a highly emotional condition. So whatever they believe on day 1, they're associating with an emotion, and that's what's wiring into their mind. So if they think, now here's what management groups taught. They told me to do this, right? Give them what they want and then tell them what they need. Talk about pain, relieve their pain, then talk about lifestyle. No, humans don't work that way, right? Who thought of that? Somebody who never studied human behavior. First of all, I didn't like that based on principles. Secondly, when I did it, I noticed people quit. So I threw that out and I went to health right away, but that was a 40 PVA. 40 to 50 PVA I was selling healthcare. Now they came for health problems. Some people brought their kids. Some stayed longer than others, but it was still a 40 PVA. Shatter those beliefs, establish new chiropractic lifestyle beliefs, create automation with 100 PVA and patients. They won't come for you. Now, once I did this, there's days I just wouldn't show up. I call my associate, hey, I'm not coming in today. And then my friends would be like, hey, how do you see over 200 people a day? And I would go, well, why don't you look? I go, tell you what, I'm not going to show up on Friday. That was our cluster book day. And I would say, you show up in my place. And I would tell them, Don't say anything. Don't talk. Let them talk to you and teach you chiropractic. Like, because I'm creating chiropractors, not patients. I'm creating chiropractors. Now, they don't have to become a chiropractor, but if they think like a chiropractor, they're going to go out and they're going to tell other people. And then I quit working. I just had fun. Everything became automatic. Now, here's here's how you get out of your practice and these systems and la la la. And we're going to have business systems. We're going to have a business talk tomorrow. And it's really a business purpose talk. It's a business model. And we're going to have a gentleman come in that's got a business software. He sees over 1,000 a week, makes over 5 million a year. It's got a software that can help you track everything. It'll actually tell you what to do. And so that's how you can inspect what you expect when you want time off. So they come in because they live healthily. I know I got autocorrect on that. Healthily. What was that? Autocorrect fixed me on that one. And it's their belief, value, and purpose. There you go. They're not coming for you anymore. And then I began, earlier, I would tell people, look, I'm not going to always be the one adjusting you. Sometimes I will be. Everybody understands your condition. They understand who you are. They know who you are. So you're not coming for the people. You're coming for yourself and your family and your health the rest of your life. And our team will give you the best care that you can recover your health and live with the highest confidence in the strength and health of your body for you and your family and everybody that you send here for the rest of your life. That's what I would tell them in the ROF. Great. So they didn't always say, oh, doc, you're here today. Great. Yeah, man. Freaking set my Atlas, man. I need to get charged up. It's very stressful at work this week, right? So here we go. So this is today. Now I think you understand the difference between patient education and belief system. Tomorrow, man, tomorrow's going to be huge. You want to be on tomorrow. And this going through the business model, how we take this laser sharp focus, and it's the foundation of how we create everything. Now, also, there's a Secrets to the Seven-Figure Lifestyle Practice Facebook page. Find that on Facebook. Ask to join. I have so many videos on there. We do 5-minute lifestyle mindset. We share tons of stuff. These recordings are going to be put on there. You can also join the Elite Chiropractic Coaching page. We're going to put these recordings on there and we'll email them out through the week. Now, we have obviously a full coaching program. We have people that have the boot camps. That's how to create the patient experience. We have a whole online system that puts all these foundational principles, breaks it all down on small videos. You can train your team because the goal is we want you. Now, you can decide whatever you want, but we have people that are making $50,000 to $100,000 a month just on their wellness lifestyle patients. When you get to there and you're making 80,000, 70,000, whatever you want, dollars a month, before you even put the key in the door, you probably don't have to show up, but that's not what it's about. Look at the impact that you're making on healthcare. When your purpose turns into a business, and that's what I'm going to show you, but you're purpose driven first. That's how you do it. Commit to 100 PBA. I will show you with human behavior tools exactly how to get there, because we already have people at 200 and 300 PBA that joined with a 35 PBA. So it can be done. Now, another thing, if you have any questions, look, just call me. Here's my number, man. Hey, I'll show you how to implement this. This is not a sales call. This is straight implementation. Everything we're going to do is free. If you want to know about our services, just ask me. If you don't ask me, then I won't even bring it up. I just want to help make a bigger impact, get more people out of patient education into changing beliefs. That's why we're doing this. Please share these videos with at least 3 other chiropractors so we can bring this out. We need to change the model of chiropractic. And I think after this very brief introduction, I think you can see how patient education, well, look at Susie's dominating the screen, how patient education really is already obsolete. So any questions in the chat? I need to put my glasses on. Any questions? Go back. Hopefully you wrote my number down. Go to the elite. Hey, my pleasure, man. My pleasure, Steve. Thanks for hanging in there. And love you guys. Please, let's get a huge following on here so we can make a bigger impact than ever before. You have my numbers, you have my email. Just call me. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, Dalton and Piari and Teva. All right, you guys. Love you. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow night. Be here live, baby. It's going to be freaking awesome.